hip openers. So the hips, if they're tight, it can cause problems with your lower back, and then you have problems sitting, standing, walking, because it will then start to affect the psoas muscle, which is the deepest, largest of the hip flexors. So, and also your hips are known to be the focus of your emotions as well. So it's good to do a good old release there as well for that reason alone. So we're going to come from here, we're just going to come straight into child's pose, Balasana. So take your knees wide, toes touching. Sit back towards your heels, slide your hands away. Forehead and the tip of the nose on the mat, but pressing through the palms, lift your forearms. And if you find this really uncomfortable, you can either do it on your back, so you're bringing your knees to the sides of your ribs, or you can pull a sock or a hand towel into the back of the knee joint, just to give a little opening there to help. Just settle into this for a moment. Just feel that spread through the hips. Keep the arms active, and as you press the palms down, then push them away from you. So feel the spine stretch a little more, a bit more length, and lowering the tailbone towards your heels. Okay, and then coming up to sit. Deep cross with your ankles, but you want to try and keep your feet a little bit flexed, so not pointing your toes to the sides, so feet a little flexed. Take your hips back, so we've done this before many times, but to make sure the front shin is in line with the edge of your mat. And then sit up tall. Lift your rib cage, press through your sitting bones, and then keeping that straight spine, keep the core sucked in, lean forward. And then start to walk your fingertips away. Keep that engagement through the core, relax your head. And just get to where you can't go anymore. Press the fingertips down, drag the energy back towards your feet. Okay, then walk fingertips back in, deeply cross the legs the other way, flex at the ankles. Inhale, lift up, lean forward. And then walk the fingertips back up and come to stand. The sun salutes. Gosh, it's really dark in here today. The sun has gone. It dropped 15 degrees last night, so lovely cold run, but sorry about how dark it is in here. Anyway, you know what you're doing, sun salutes. So you're going to inhale, nice and slow, Urdhva Hastasana, lifting up, feel that lift through the kneecaps, the core. Exhale, floating forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, palms down, stepping back, roll into plank. Drop your knees if you need to, the elbow forward. Take your time in Chaturanga. lowering down, pause, squeeze the outer hips towards each other, and then lowering to cobra, bringing the elbows towards your waist, tops of the feet pressing in. Exhale to down dog. And just slowly pedaling the heels. Inhale, pressing all the knuckles into the mat, the palm, coming up. Bend your knees, look forward. Come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. So some of you will know upward facing dog. So this is the cobra is a variation. So actually in the sun salute, it's just the tops of your feet and your hands that touch in upward facing dog. But so we're going to go through that one. So of course you can still do cobra, because this is it's a much gentler variation on your spine. So pay attention and just do what feels good for you. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, roll forward into plank. And this time, as you press up, making sure you're pushing, rounding out between your shoulder blades. Squeeze the thighs to the midline, feel your outer hips. Lower to Chaturanga. So you come forward. So see how, as I come down, I bring my chest forward. And then flipping onto the tops of your feet. And now let your hips sag, kind of. It's active. And curling the chest between your arms. So see, it's only my hands, the tops of my feet. But you want to really squeeze your core. Squeeze the back, so the shoulder blades are coming towards each other. And then coming up, turn the toes over, come up into down dog. Take 3 breaths here. So you feel how much stronger upward facing dog is on the back. So we need to make sure that you're paying attention to the thighs in particular, that they squeeze towards the midline, and then you feel that lift of the chest and keeping control of the back, the upper back in particular. Okay, inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees. Now wait here. Now look at your hands. Press the finger pads down. It's almost like you're clawing just gently. Look forward and hop. That's the next stage, is that we would jump forward. Okay, now coming to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do that once more. So just take the variation that you need if you still need to stay in cobra and walk forward. But the action as you're jumping is you're trying to get your hips high. So we're just practicing squeeze your core and do a little bunny hop forward. Okay, oh, sorry, where am I going? Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, palms down, step back, roll into plank. Lowering to Chaturanga, not through it. Bring the chest forward, you're up on your toes. And flip your feet. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Reach your chest between your arms. And look up. It's a curling of the upper back. Not just dropping your head back. And then lift the hips, flip onto your toes, down dog. Ujjayi breath, so using your breath here. Think of the placement of the hands, in particular pressing through the index finger and the thumb, and then start to press the finger pads down. So your hands are now going to be like your feet as you come forward. So you want to have just a gentle grip with the toes, which is your fingers. As you come up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, spread your shoulder blades a little, squeeze your core, hop. Come to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, stepping back now into down dog. You're going to lift the right leg up, so down dog split. Oh, sorry, Breathles. Kicked you. It's a dead dog. So lower the left heel towards the mat. As you lift the right leg, you want to try and keep your hips level. So don't open through the hip here. We're activating the psoas muscle, your hip flexor. So you can point or flex, I don't mind, the toe above there, but drop the right hip down a little. So roll the thigh under you, so the knee and foot are facing down. Hold a little longer. Then inhale, roll into plank, knee to nose, squeeze. You stretch the psoas, now we're strengthening, and then place the right foot between your hands. Runner's lunge. As we know, lunges are great for hips. So here, make sure that right knee is above the right ankle. And as you press through your fingertips, reach your chest forward. So don't sink onto the front thigh. Lift up through the back thigh, squeeze the thighs to the midline. And then you might want to pad your knee. In fact, I will, because I'm on carpet anymore. As you drop the left knee down, feet are hip distance apart, knee and left knee and front foot, coming up into low lunge. Keep the back toes tucked under. Inhale, bring your arms up. Sink your hips a little more. Now the knee can come forward, the right knee can come forward of the ankle. Reaching up, but plugging the arm bones down into the shoulder girdle so you can feel the shoulder blades comfortably against the back body. Exhale, palms down, lift the back leg up. We're now going to come into lizard. So bring your right arm on the inside of the right foot and move the right foot out to the edge of your mat. So hands are under shoulders. Firstly, squeeze the right knee into the right shoulder. Feel that length as you're up on the back toes. Reach the chest forward. The gaze is down. Just really feel the strength through the back thigh as you sink the hips. Now turn the right toes out. You might want your block or a cushion in front of you. So you can stay up here if this feels enough. You want as you allow the knee to fold out, or the right thigh to fold out a little, you want the thigh in the same direction as the foot to protect the knee. And then if you can go further, you'll be rolling onto the outside edge of the foot. You can come down lower. So come onto your forearms and resting on a block if you need to, or if you can, you'll come down onto the mat. If this is too strong, you come up higher, or you can drop the back knee down and flatten the left foot. Whatever feels good for you, but you want to keep that length through the spine, allowing the right hip to roll out, turning onto the edge of the outer edge of the right foot. Keep the chest projecting forward. And then inhale, come up onto your palms again. And we're going to do a twist. So keeping the right thigh rolling outwards, you're going to lift the right arm up. Press through the left palm, reach up through the right fingertips. Roll open the right side of the rib cage. You can drop the back knee. Exhale, rolling the palms back down, lifting up through the back thigh. You're going to step back into down dog. Okay, then inhale, lift the left leg up. Again, down dog splits. So lowering the right heel, roll, internally rotate the left thigh under you so the hips become level. Lift the leg a little higher if you can. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Push through your palms. Then 2 more breaths here. Feel the psoas, feel the back of the right thigh. And then inhale. You're going to bring left knee to nose, come into plank. Squeezing the heel towards the buttock and then come to runner's lunge. Place the left foot to the left side of the mat so your feet are hip distance apart. Sink down so the left knee is above the left ankle and squeeze the thighs to the midline. Lift up through the right thigh. Reaching the chest forward as if you're about to launch. Use your breath. And then coming into a low lunge, enchaîné. Drop the right knee down, keep the right toes tucked under. And then sink the hips. Bring your arms up. The arms are parallel. Shoulder blades slide down your back. And that lovely opening through the front of the hip here, the psoas. And then exhale. Bring your palms down, but you're going to bring the left hand on the inside of the left knee. So we're going to go through lizard again, lifting up through the back thigh. So pressing up through the arms so you can feel it almost rounding out between the shoulder blades. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Squeeze the left knee into the left shoulder. You know what I'm doing. I was going to show you, but I can't turn around because there's not enough room in this apartment. So feel that connection, squeezing the shoulder and the thigh towards each other. Reach the chest forward. You can drop the back knee if you need to. Now turn the left toes out and let the thigh go in the same direction. Keep the chest coming forward, squeeze your core. And then start to come down onto your forearms. So if you need your block or a cushion, but only come down if it feels good. And you should be able to, whichever level you're at, you should be able to get both forearms into the same position. If you can't, then come up a little. So we don't want to be twisted over onto one forearm. Again, if you need to drop the back knee. So rolling onto the outer edge of the left foot. And then keep that length through the spine. Reach the chest forward, press up through the forearms. And then coming into a twist, so we're going to come up onto our palms. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders. And then you're going to open to the left. So keep that hip sinking down again. If you want to drop the knee, that makes the opening a little easier. And then exhale, palms down, lifting back into down dog. Okay, and then inhale, we're going to come into pigeon. So you're going to roll forward into plank. Bring your right knee down behind your right wrist, and then take the foot across to the other side. Now with pigeon, if your hips are quite open and loose, the idea of pigeon is that, say this was the front edge of my mat, is that your shin would be parallel with the front edge of the mat, and then you would flex the foot and then take the left leg back, which I can't because the sofa's there. But because this is such a bad angle for hip and knee, if you're not open, and ankle, then we don't do it. So what you do is you point the toe and then show you, and then change the angle of the leg. So always paying attention to the knee. I'll do it this way. I'm sleeping, but I don't think you can see Raffles. He's fast asleep because you went for a run in the rain, didn't you, Raffles? It's lovely. So your knee, right knee is right up behind the wrist, and then point your toes across to the other side of the mat, and just find the level for you through the hips. So you might want the knee going almost down to the outside of the left thigh, or you can start to straighten, whichever feels good for you. Then sliding the left thigh back, and then walk your hands back towards your knee so you can sink your hips down evenly. And you may want to prop the right thigh, or the right buttock, to stop you rolling off to the right. You prop that there. Okay, so then lifting up so you can feel the hips sink, and then start to walk your hands away. And it might be enough to just be here to feel this opening through the hip, but if you can, you'll come forward and fold. Just relax your head. But the same as with lizard, even if it might even help you to keep your left toes tucked under, you want to feel that length in the spine. So keep the core engaged to reach the chest a little further, and then soften into it. So you can either stay there if you wanted to try king pigeon variation. And this is if you're more open in the hips, because if your foot is pointed way down back towards your knee, your balance is going to be really tricky. So it's more if you're almost in normal pigeon, you're going to place a block or a cushion to the outside of the front knee, and then bend to the back knee. Eesh, it's hard on this floor, my mat's too thin, so it might be a bit too tough on the knee, but you can either bring your right hand to your right thigh or to the block on the outside, and then you're going to take, the left hand takes the left foot. Keep your chest lifted, bring the foot towards your bottom. That's a nice quad stretch as well. So just wherever that takes you, and then release slowly down, careful of those knees. And now back into, wiggle your way back into down dog. And you might want to lift that right leg up behind you, give it a little shake. And then we're going to do the other side. Okay, so lift the left leg up. Then roll into plank, left knee behind left wrist. Find the angle that you can work with for your left foot across to the other side of the mat. Sink down, take the left leg back. Walk your fingertips back so you can settle your hips down. So you're trying to even your hips. Prop this left buttock if you feel you're falling off to the left. And then keeping length in your spine, your core engaged, take your arms forward and fold. And this is one of those poses that the longer you're in it, the better it is for you. But sometimes it is one of those poses where you just want to, feel like you might want to punch somebody. You're tense, you're really tense because it's painful, not, hopefully not in a knee pain way, but it's such a deep opener that you need to be careful. Just take it in stages. You don't have to go all the way today. You can take your time, come back to it. So just softening into that. And if you want to try a king pigeon variation, then bend the back knee, take hold of it. And lift up, so chest up, sink the hips, bring the foot, so you want to bend the right elbow, bring that foot, the heel towards you, keep the sinking in the chest. And then release. Palms down, tuck those right toes under, lifting up. Give the left leg a shake. Coming into down dog. And then inhale, come forward, drop your knees, roll onto your back. And come into happy baby. So bend your knees towards your chest, arms come on the inside of your legs, take the outside edge of your feet. Then lift your heels up and take them wide. And then try, rather than being curling through the spine, you're trying to gently lower the sacrum towards the mat and bring your feet as wide as you can, bringing the thighs down towards the mat. Soften your shoulders, relax your head. This is about the hips and thighs. So trying to bring the thighs down either side of your body. You can even do a little baby rock. But that's only if you can lower the sacrum enough that you're not then just rolling on the spine, because that's really uncomfortable. Okay, then bring the feet together, turn the soles of the feet to face each other or to press against each other. Bring your hands to your belly. Bring your heels more towards your bottom, soles of the feet press towards each other. Just Baddha Konasana or Supta Baddha Konasana, lying down butterfly. You could even take your hands just gently onto the top of your inner thigh. Raffles is full on snoring here. Oh, yes. Okay, then bring hands to the outside of the thighs, bring your knees together, roll to the side, come up. to sit facing me. Close your eyes. Sit nice and tall. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Lowering your head. And opening your eyes. Namaste. Have a lovely day, everyone. Same time.